Actually, I have to say we met at the rooftop bar after midnight, so all fine. Okay, yeah, I'm very excited to talk at the Thunder Day. I have to say I love Thunder, and thanks Burda for sponsoring the Thunder core team and the whole coalition. I think this is really future-proof and the way to go. So my session today is called Drop Your Excel Sheets, Editorial Planning Done Right, and obviously I have to ask a question, do you use Excel? Who's in here using Excel? So a lot of people, and well, obviously people love Excel, including me. Why? Well, you start Excel, add a couple of columns, and then you have a planning tool, you have a task list, whatever. So we love it, easy to use, until the plan gets plan version 2, version 3 for the boss, and you have version 2 and 3 combined. So you see we have a big problem here. Well, what you learn out of my talk here is how content is actually managed in Drupal and how you can do better. And I will introduce the module called Drupal Content Planner, a module we worked on in the last months. It's an open source Drupal module. Yeah. So my name is Lukas. I run a digital agency. We are 10 plus digital experts in Switzerland. And I'm mostly geeking about digital strategy and Drupal, and I'm also a part-time gardener. Well, content planning in theory, it's simplified. Well, you start with the editorial meeting, then you write content, then you review content, you add it to the CMS, and you have happy readers. And well, there are different roles, writers, and SEO guy, analytics guy, and the social media manager. In theory, it works perfect. However, what's actually happening? Well, tools pop up. You have Excel, Word, email. Well, in the end, maybe you have a Thunder site. Well, okay. And then it starts, chief editor wants to review the content, and then the SEO guy obviously also wants to add keywords and add semantic data, and then the analytics guy has some ideas for the editorial, and then social media manager also has idea. You have, well, writer has to re-edit stuff, social media manager, and obviously everybody has an Excel document. So everybody is using Excel, some people are using Word, and then for some reason, the chief editor comes with a PowerPoint document with some new ideas. Well, you see, it's kind of complex what an editorial team needs to do. And, well, email, everything is exchanged through email, maybe you know that. And of course, I know it's not in your team, you work differently for sure, but let's face reality. Digital teams have a lot of responsibility. It's a very complex task to run a website, a magazine site, a news site. You not only have to care about the articles, you have to care about the strategy, the analytics, the SEO, etc., etc. And here's a stunning fact about the growth of technology. Maybe you know this landscape. Chief Martech, it's a blog writing about marketing technology, and they publish every year a map of marketing technology. And if you compare 2011, on the map were 150 tools listed, and in 2017 it was over 5,000 tools. So every tool has kind of a meaning, a sense why it was built, and Drupal is also listed there. Well, this is reality. Another interesting example is this screenshot. Well, this is a list of all technologies used on NewYorkTimes.com. Well, not all tools are related to content or editorial content, but New York Times and its editorial team would not be successful, not selling that many subscriptions they do today, if they would not be provided by all these tools, right? Well, we are at the Thunder event, and my question is, how does Drupal and Thunder help digital teams do their job? Thunder is a great piece of technology. In our consultancy, we use the digital strategy canvas, and I quickly explain it. There's a lot of information on it, but you have like 3 layers. You have the core, you have operations, and you have data. In the core, you have, in any like brand or project, you have a vision and organization strategy. Then you have the technology layer, then you have the content layer, and then you have the channels, and at the top you have the analytics. And the question is, where is Drupal or Thunder actually being part of within this canvas? So obviously, Drupal is a technology. You build your website, your customer portal, your content hub, your e-commerce site. And Drupal is a content management system. So obviously, you work with content, whether it's articles, products, whatever content you have. But I'm very impressed that there is something in between, the editorial, which is for some reason not taking place within Drupal. It's taking place in Excel sheets or other products. This is really astounding if you look at this. The editorial, for some reason, got forgotten. Well, we adopted Drupal in 2007 when Drupal 5 came out. And this is what the admin/content page looked like. The admin/content page of Drupal is the list of all your content on your site. And I want to show you how this evolved, because this is kind of the main site you go to see what content you have on your site as an editor or anybody who's interacting with the site on the admin section. Well, this was Drupal 5 in 2007. Drupal 6 looked like this. Almost no change. Drupal 7, well, the content listing is exactly the same. They added an administration bar by default. Today we are using Drupal 8. It looks very, very similar. And in Drupal Thunder, well, you have some open graph images, you have the channels, and you can also filter by author. But you know, as much as I like these content lists, they remind me of my very early days when I started to do websites, which is PHPMyAdmin, which is a database administration tool. So obviously, today Drupal itself is, maybe it's a database administration tool. Well, this is how we manage content in Drupal today. Well, actually in most CMSs, so WordPress is not better, and Joomla, and most of them are list-based. And you can question, well, what's the problem with the list-based thing? Well, there is not really a problem unless you have more complex questions to your content on the site. For example, out of the box in Thunder, it's not possible to get a list of your next publications. So it's not possible. Or give me all content planned next week and give me only the content that is still in draft, so it still needs work. It still needs work. Or even more complex stuff like, do I have some empty content slots in the next month? It's not possible today with the standard tools of Drupal. Well, that leads to the question, how should it be? What solutions are out there that actually work? And I present you a couple of examples that inspired us to build the Drupal Content Planner. And I go through these examples. Well, WordPress, they have a dashboard by default. And as simple as it is, they have a Auf einen Blick overview. So you see how many articles you have, how many pages you have. They have an activity, what was recently published. And it's very easy to integrate some basic analytics data to the dashboard. And I think that's why people love WordPress that much. We don't have this in Drupal today. Another tool I like a lot is Gather Content. Gather Content, as the name says, helps teams to bring content together. Gather Content also knows something like content types, and you can build up your content in a very structured way. And what I like about it on the dashboard is the project status view. So it's a very visual representation of the state of your content. You have various workflows, and you have a visual representation, very powerful. And well, I think a lot of people in editorial teams use Trello or a similar tool. Well, Trello is also very powerful. You have your tickets, you have your columns, you can actually build up your custom workflow. And what I like about this, they also have a calendar feature, so you can map your tickets or your articles to the calendar. However, Trello is not connected to the content management system, so people end up uploading the photos, even text, and then re-downloading and then copying, pasting to the CMS, which is kind of a mess. Also, what I like or inspired me is Buffer, especially the Q content view. Buffer is a social media sharing tool. On the left side, you see the social channels. And then in the main section here, you see a calendar, a weekly calendar in this case. And they propose you with slots where you should or could plan your social posts. I think this is very powerful in thinking about what should go live at what time. A cool feature. Co-schedule puts the calendar to the center. So when you log in, you just see this. And also here you can add any content type, even social media posts. They also have collaborative features, which is very powerful. And they have a WordPress integration, and it's a cool tool. I would love to have this in Drupal. And so why I like these tools, they have these three characteristics. They are collaborative, they are visual, and they are contextual, whether it's time, status, or author. So what if we would have this in Drupal or Thunder? And the thing is, we have it. It's called Drupal Content Planner. I hope the video will start now. Oops. Oh, sorry. Because I want to show you a demo. It's just a 3-minute demo about the key features of the module.
A short introduction about the Drupal Content Planner module. I'm Lukas. I run Netnode. Netnode is a digital agency in Switzerland. What you see now is the Drupal.org project page of the new Drupal Content Planner module. So the source code is available and you can use it right away. So let's see it in action. What you see here is a Drupal site with Drupal Content Planner enabled. And if it's enabled, you get a new tab in the Drupal administration menu, and it has 3 sub-tabs. So let's see what's Dashboard. Dashboard will show you an overview of dashboard widgets. So for example, you can show Google Analytics reports, you can show content status, or you can go show last publications, next publications, or you can even show the editorial team. The cool thing about the dashboard, it's very flexible and it's configurable. So you can enable and disable standard widgets, or you can even create your own using the Drupal plugin system. So that's the dashboard. Let's go to the second tab called Content Calendar. So Content Calendar is a calendar view of basically all your Drupal content. You can scroll through the months. You can jump to a specific month. You can also filter, change the year view. And what's cool about it, you can add new content directly on the calendar view. For example, you can add content and you can configure your own custom content types with the plus sign here. So let's do that. Let's add a new note on the 3rd of October. So I hit notes, I fill it up and I save. And yes, it will be stored in the specific date. And maybe now I decide, well, the third was wrong, so I can drag and drop and reschedule any content I already planned or I already have. And if you look closer to the teaser view, what you'll see here is the image of the author. You get the name of the content type, you get the node title, you get the workflow state of that node, and you get editing buttons, delete and duplicate buttons. So that's the calendar view. The third tab is called Content Kanban. Content Kanban is think about it like a to-do list. So you get all the workflow states as columns and all the contents based on the status. And you can move the contents between the states just by using drag and drop. It's very cool, very fun to use. So that's the core functionality of Drupal Content Planner.
So these are the key features. And now I hope I can start the presentation again. Whoops. Okay, here we go. So the video is also available on YouTube, so please share it in your team if you like the functionality. So what is the vision and mission? Well, as I said before, the admin/content view is a bit limited, so we invented Drupal Content Planner, which helps to create, plan, and manage content. It offers a dashboard, a calendar, and a to-do list, and it's open source. So it's free to use, adapt it however you want. And we actually have we have a goal. We want to be the top 50 most installed module by end of 2019, because I really think the editorial experience and the planning experience should be improved. I want to highlight a couple of features, especially interesting for publishing companies. Well, you saw the dashboard before, and think the dashboard as a single source of truth for all content-related things. So you saw all the stakeholders before, and the dashboard should really be a real-time view for all stakeholders. And also, if you have like more analytics tools, it's kind of the jumpstart to other tools. Just put links up there. If a new editor joins the team, just you can tell, well, go to the dashboard, and you have everything on there in real time. Also, I want to one thing to highlight: the Kanban board is integrated, or the whole solution is integrated with Drupal's roles and permission system. So, for example, a chief editor has access to all the contents of all authors, and he can also filter by author, etc., etc. But also there is a much more simplified view for content editors. So you see, they not even can change anything in the Drupal space. They only have the content planner, and in the Kanban board, they only see their own content. So it's really like my content or my tasks I have to do around that project. Also, a key focus was it should be plug and play. So you need very little configuration, and there is very little dependency in Drupal. So Drupal Workflows, it's based on Drupal Workflows, which is in core now, and we are using Drupal Scheduler module to make it work. Well, the use cases, we see 4 major use cases. Well, there's the magazine news sites where you have an editorial team, also in corporate communications where you have like long review stages. For example, legal reviews, you can build the solution with Drupal Workflows, and then it nicely integrates with the Kanban view. And obviously also for marketing people, it's very interesting to plan campaigns and the content around the campaigns way before you actually write the content itself. Also what we see, if you migrate or build a new site, just building up the basic content or migrate the basic content, also the Kanban view helps a lot to speed up the migration. We have a roadmap. Currently, it's a beta 5, and version 1 is on the way with this key functionality. But then we have version 1.1 with much more more features. Especially, I mean, you saw it was a blog site with just a couple of articles. Obviously, if you run a news site, you have like hundreds of stories. So we need to have a weekly calendar view, daily calendar view, even filterable by whatever channel section. Also, what would be very cool is a social media integration, similar to Buffer, what I showed you before, and then also something like calendar nodes, so nodes within the calendar that are not necessarily thought to publish, just like internal nodes. And then also more higher level planning, like a topics and campaign planning. In version 1.2, we want to add collaborative features like editor discussions and comments around articles, notification system, and analytics integration. Yeah, so in conclusion, you have the editorial team. Hopefully we can burn all tools and replace it by Drupal Thunder and the Drupal Content Planner. And then I think we are really cool. So thank you very much.
Lukas! I never understood the magic of Excel, and I never understood why I don't understand it. And today was the first day that I understood why it was absolutely unnecessary to understand it. So, and it's the first time that I hope you don't have any questions, because we are a bit over the time. Any questions? No, thank you. There is one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll make it short. Can you just expand a little bit about the companies using it and how many companies are using it now?
So we put the module on Drupal.org in September, and well, the Drupal org listing is about 60 projects now and about 300 downloads, so it's still small. We are using it in around 5 sites in production, so it's ready. Yeah. I'm also here if you want to ask any other question.
Thank you, Lukas Fischer.